Private home buyers can soon get more information on the layout plans for new housing projects at the point of sale. These include details like structural walls, lift chambers, and refuse chutes. Developers are currently not required to provide such details upfront. The new measures aim to help home buyers make better informed decisions. The changes are expected to take effect early next year. Now, developers will also be expected to disclose their construction quality track records for past projects to home buyers. This allows potential buyers to better assess project standards. The defect liability period will also start later. And this is the period when developers are obliged to rectify any defects identified by the homeowner. It'll now start either when buyers collect their keys or 35 days after the payment notice is issued, whichever is earlier. This is upon receiving a temporary occupation permit.
This is to better align the defects liability period to when home buyers take possession of their units, as developers currently have 21 days to deliver possession after they collect the progress payment. They will not only help prospective homeowners to make better informed decisions, and I hope over time this can also help to raise overall industry standards and give our home buyers greater confidence.
The defect checking process will also be streamlined. Starting next April, it will focus on issues that matter most to homeowners, like water seepage. Around 30% of defect categories that do not significantly affect livability will be removed.
These enhancements ensure that our construction standards can evolve to meet residents' needs while supporting industry productivity and growth. Homeowners can look forward to better quality homes with fewer defects that impact functionality and livability, because that's what we will be zooming in to focus on. And at the same time, developers and builders will enjoy time savings through more efficient assessments.
And for more on the announcements, we're joined by Yvonne Tan. She is a Chief Corporate and Development Officer of UOL and Committee Member of the Real Estate Developers Association of Singapore. And we are also joined in studio by Eugene Lim, who is a Key Executive Officer of ERA and President of the Singapore Institute of Estate Agents. Yvonne, Eugene, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now, I want to start with Eugene. Why do you think these measures are needed now? And do you expect them to actually raise buyer confidence?
Well, if we look at the state of the industry now, the standard is already very high compared to perhaps other countries. And so what the new regulations and these regulatory measures is going to do is going to raise the bar for everybody. I think it's a good thing. It's going to be a higher standard further downstream. And I think if we look at what's been announced, it's going to look at the whole spectrum from the beginning, when you are choosing your property, all the way to the delivery, when you are taking possession of the unit, and also the defects liability, and also the so-called the quality of the unit. So all these come into play. I think buyers today are a lot more sophisticated and more demanding, right? I think largely due to the higher price of properties also.
Yeah, so Yvonne, we want to bring you in now, and we're going to zoom in a bit more on the streamlining of the temporary occupation license. How significant would this be operationally and logistically for developers? And do you think there are other areas that can actually be improved on as well?
Operationally, it's a big step forward. Pre-identifying show flat sites remove one of the most common bottlenecks that developers face, and it's a very welcome change because it can cut approval time by half and save as much as 6 weeks. What's also encouraging is that this policy change came about through active dialogue session between REDAS and the government, and we appreciate the government's positive response to REDAS' suggestion for having pre-identified show flat sites. It shows effective public-private partnership, and this spirit of collaboration really drives productivity. I think going forward, we hope to see similar improvements in other early-stage processes such as interagency clearances, and efficiencies at any stage can add up to meaningful time savings across the entire project cycle, which will then allow us to focus on delivery, design, and quality.
And in light of all of that, how do you think the industry is preparing for the higher levels of transparency that is needed? And how will developers actually be held accountable?
I think the industry is actually already actively disclosing information. So by disclosing more information, we're actually creating consistency across the industry. And having a common template for disclosures will ensure that all buyers will receive the same information, which then allow buyers to compare projects which across an even footing. And Redas can play an enabling role by helping members align practices and raise standards together.
Now, Eugene, how will prospective buyers actually benefit from this? Will it address the pain points that they originally brought up?
I think now if a buyer were to visit any show flat today, the standard, the look and feel is extremely high quality. So he makes his decision based on, wow, this looks nice and this looks great. But at the end of the day, he's going to take possession of a unit further downstream. So I think Minister is right to focus on livability and functionality and also the quality further downstream to address the concerns that perhaps some buyers have. And also, I think it will also help the industry to manage the buyers' expectations. Yes, so it's a good balance. We see it as a good balance, both for industry as well as for the home buyer. Home buyer now has a lot more information to make an objective decision. And the industry also know that they have to raise the bar to meet these higher standards.
And speaking of raising that bar, there's definitely a lot more focus when it comes to the quality of the development, right? So another change that is coming up is the mandatory disclosure of the construction quality assessment system, or CONQAS, as you would say, the track records for that. So will this shift how agents or developers position or market their projects, and how it then that impact the buyer as well?
So right now, much of this decision is based on hearsay quality. Certain buyers, they follow certain brands and certain developers because they have experience or their friends have experience, so they rely on hearsay. But with this objective so-called score system being reflected upfront, there is an objective source of information, an additional source of information for home buyers to make that decision. Yes, this project looks great, but is it going to be good quality further downstream? So this helps to so-called fill that gap. Yes.
Now, Yvonne, for the developers who don't have a very strong past performance when it comes to their CONQAS record, what measures will Redas be taking to help these developers?
I think as an association, we will help our members to understand the practices more and align them together. And we'll also have working groups to gather industry feedback so that we can respond quickly to any problems that we see.
Now, if you look at all these changes as a whole, maybe Eugene, you can tell us, what do you think are the biggest benefits you would see, not just for developers, but also for the agents, for the buyers? What really stands out for you?
I think for agents, it probably make our job a little bit more easy because now there's a unbiased, objective source of information that home buyers can rely on instead of just word of mouth to make that decision. So it's not just look and feel, but also further downstream the quality of what to expect when the product is being delivered.
Well, Eugene, Yvonne, thank you so much for coming in to share your insights with us.
Thank you.
I've been chatting with Yvonne Tan of UOL and Redas and Eugene Lim of ERA and SIEA.